All right, YouTube, Truth Man here, and the channel is the No Matrix, No Simping, All Subjects channel. So I'm getting ready to give you the 2024 real scoop on this provider protector stuff and how much you need to make to be the only person working and to still be comfortable. And I'm pretty sure that I'm the one that can speak on it, because I'm the one that did it for over 20 some years and still have to do it currently. Now, well, I don't have to, but listen, man. I know it sounds like the right thing to do, but let me tell you, I done had a fair share of suffering and going without being the only provider. And I'm gonna show you how this works. See, it's a noble thing, but other things come into play, like racism. Like, let's say when you start providing, you ain't gonna be able to go back to college unless you go at night and you work during the day. But you do that and these women gonna reward you with some adultery. I guarantee you that. Almost all of them. If they know you ain't gonna be around all day, they gonna feel nice and comfortable cheating on you. That's number one. Number two is the amount of money you have to make to do that. In my opinion, for you to do it comfortably, unless you live in Mississippi or Arkansas or somewhere, you got to make over 100,000 after taxes to do it comfortably. You could do it, but it ain't gonna be comfortable, because this is how it works. When things happen, injury, job loss, companies close, layoffs, flat tires, car repairs, this, that. When you the only one that's making all the money, every little thing that happens is gonna take you backwards tremendously. That's how it works. And like, you not gonna enjoy your money. Like, you gonna have to be on pins and needles and on point. Every bad move that you do with your money when you're the only one working, it's gonna be a severe problem. So you gotta be practically perfect, making 60, 70, 80,000 a year, trying to be the only one working. Even in a place like Milwaukee, which is not the highest cost of living, it's not the lowest, but it's not the highest. So I keep hearing people who ain't never did it on YouTube, content creators that ain't never had to provide, that ain't never been the only one working. Some of them ain't never even been married, trying to speak on it. Now, you could try, but a lot of y'all sound like chirping birds, like you're not even speaking the language. We just can hear you, because it ain't as easy as y'all think. It's not, man. Like, I know dudes with no kids and their wife still work, still contribute, and they still not rich. So dudes been asking me for years, man, like, how do you do that? Now, I wouldn't do it. They say I wouldn't do it. I've never saw one dude to say he would do it. I know dudes that do it, but I've never seen one to say that they would do it. Like, one guy said, if I had kids, I wouldn't care. Once them kids old enough to go to school, she going back to work. Actually, that's what a couple of them say. It's like the criticism don't stop when things go awry. Because let's be honest, man, a masculine dude, even if he the only one making the money, it's only so much he gonna put up with from people, man. But if he quits his job, he's going to go spiraling backwards. So it's almost like the only way it can even halfway work is if you agree to be emasculated. Because when you get emasculated, you still gotta keep pressing on forward and just let them emasculate, let them punk you, because you the only one working. How many dudes gonna do that? Not many. Not many. It didn't work. I'm gonna tell you something. It failed with my father. It failed with me. Everybody that I know that's not rich, that has been a failure. Being the only one working. Even white folks, rich suburban white people don't even do that. So what makes black people think that they can do it? And you can't tell me, because I deliver packages to these people's houses every day. And I see them both going to work. I see them coming from work. Like they both work. You got to just basically choose your sacrifice. If you're going to be the only one working, then you choosing to sacrifice money. That's what you got to understand. So when y'all agree to that, things go bad, you don't stop being who you supposed to be, who you been, and you don't be overly critical getting into it because y'all agreed to that. So when the reality set in, you can't get mad. Well, you should do this, you should do that. A lot of things should be done. But here's one of the problems in marriage, man. Like, a lot of people, they'll criticize their husband or they'll criticize their wife. But then they'll have the same opportunity in the same category to do something, and then they do the same thing. I'm telling you. So all of y'all dudes, listen, man. And another thing I'm tired of is so effing weak, so freaking weak. You wait till you make it, till you up. You done saved all your money, you got all this money, and now you want to piss on the dudes that ain't up there where you at financially. When you was down here too. So I don't think the thing to do is try to, because what if when you was down there, people took that same attitude and that same tone with you? Well, I wouldn't care. Yes, you would have, man. Just stop it, man. We all grown. Most people on YouTube is grown, man. Yes, you would have. You wouldn't have wanted somebody that's already up there talking down to you. So don't do it to other people. But that's what people do. But anybody that's ever been the only one working, they'll tell you that even 80,000, 100,000, 60,000 is still going to be an uphill climb. In a woman's mind, she calculating, but she not calculating all the expenses. Okay, you make this much, you should be able to do this. It's always at least 3 expenses that she's leaving out. It's always food. Maybe she leaving out food and gas. You should be able to do this. Yeah, sometimes you're right. If I don't do nothing else, if you don't do nothing else. See, here's what I learned about money, man. And now I'm able to put it to practice. Your bills, you should be making at least double what your bills are. So if your bills are $3,500, after taxes, after all is said and done, you should be making $7,000. If you not, look out, duck. If your bills is $3,500 and you only make $42,000, duck. Something coming right for your head. Pause. So, sometimes when I listen to other stuff, man, it's like, I see what the Bible mean when it say through much knowledge comes much grief. I'm listening to guys and I'm like, dude, have you ever even tried it? Have you ever been in this situation where you're paying everything or almost everything? No? Then you don't know how it go. It is not easy. You have to be making a lot. And we're not talking about before tax. Like when you decide how much you're going to pay for your rent and how much you're going to pay for your cars, it should always be based on what you make after taxes. So even if they going by before to get you approved, you should be going by after. So let's say they looking at, okay, you make $6,000 a month. But after taxes, you only be having like 44. That's what you go by, 44. Don't go by what you make before taxes. If they go by that, fine. But when you deciding how much you gonna pay for your bills, which I kind of want to save that particular video for later, you gotta go by how much you have afterwards. Every time I tried to go by the gross, it became gross. I could just puke. I'm letting you know the truth, man. So, stop acting like, oh man, that ain't nothing, man. I could do. Okay. You already making $100,000 a year. Okay. Now, this is what I want you to do. You trying to bring a woman on board that you're going to have to take care of. You already making $100,000 a year. Minus 15. 15,000 a person. Minus it off. So, now you 85. You have a baby? Okay. 15 more. 70,000. Now you at 70. Now take that 70, divided by 12, and let's see how much your bills take out of each month. So 70 divided by 12. I'll do it with you. In closing, I'm about to close this out. Not to mention, if you got one of them outspoken chicks, she gonna be critical of you all day, and all you gonna be saying is, what are you doing? You're not even helping. And she gonna be taking that on the chin and still gonna be criticizing. So that comes out to $5,833 a month. So you manage your bills based off $5,830. Now, really, you should take 20% off of that because you need to be saving. So $5,833. That's $583 times 2. Or wait, 583. No, that's wait, hold on. We'll round up. 59 times 3. Wait, 500. Wait a minute, 583. I was right. So that's 20%. 5. Let's just say 583 times 2. So it's 1166. 5833 minus 11 is 66. 5833 minus 1166. $667. All your bills should be within that. All your bills should be within that. If not, if they more than that, you're going to have a problem. You ain't going to be having no money saved. So your kids going to want everything. It's never too late. As long as you work, as long as you healthy, it's never too late to turn it around. Never too late. But stop acting like this is easy. It's not. You got to be perfect. You got to walk on eggshells and get emasculated. You do. That's the only way that you're going to be able to be consistent in being the only one. Because if you lose what you got, you don't got nothing. And that's what makes that so dangerous. At least if y'all both working and something happens to you or something happens to her and y'all done spent some years working, y'all can have something to fall back on. But what happens mostly with the one person working is just a bunch of fighting and arguing. Because that person working gonna be wanting stuff that the other person gonna feel they don't need or they shouldn't get. And then the person working gonna be like, man, you ain't even the one working. And the person not working gonna be like, yeah, but we still gotta do X, Y, Z. So it's a slippery slope either way. I say, don't put your kids, if you can do it, this is what you do. This is what I would suggest. Get all of your kids out the way, back to back to back, right? Step ladders, 2, 3 kids. If you have a boy and a girl, then you got to try to even it out. So if you have that, then you probably need to have 4. You just get them out the way. Boom, 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 boom. Make that sacrifice. Be careful with money. There's your 4 kids right there. 2 girls, 2 boys. Now, once all of them, you got time. You got time. See, what we got to find out as men is if you're going to do that, I'm going to tell you the mistake I made. I should have been cultivating business, or I should have just went to night school. I didn't do either. But you be like, okay, I need a job. I would say $15,000 per person in your house. So if y'all got 2 kids, you need to make $60,000 after taxes, which is $15,000 for all 4 of y'all. And then you just, while them kids are still young like that, you got to be careful. Careful when you got to make that sacrifice. Just be saving your money, budgeting very well, which I wasn't doing. And once they old enough to go to school, if you done saved your money right, you don't even got to put them in these public schools. You can put them in private school. If you don't have the money for private school, just be like, well, let's homeschool them until we build up our income for private school. One of the advantages of homeschool is your kids don't be needing other people. They don't. Because they not always around other kids. They learn to adapt to being by themselves or being with kids they know. Then once they at school age, right? Let's say they are in school. Let's say you decide, you know what, I'm going to put them in suburban public, which is not perfect, but it's less issues than regular public. So you put them in suburban public. And then if you're in school, both of y'all work. It's so easy to do it now because you can do gig work. Like one of y'all, like she could keep her schedule open and go do something like Instacart or DoorDash or something and just say, okay, I need to make sure I make 600, 700, 800 a week. While you work at a job and you put everybody on your benefits. And she, let's say she, on average, I think if she really, like, don't be playing no games, let's say she not the fastest, not the slowest, she should be able to make 700 a week in most markets. That's 100, let me see. I want to say like 140 a day, a little under 140. She stay out here from the time she dropped them off at school until she pick them up from school. She should be able to do that. But most of these women talking this pay my bills stuff, they don't want to help. They don't want, see, that's that Eve stuff all over again. Eve didn't want to build like the Most High showed her and created her to do. She didn't want to help Adam build. These women is like that all over again. And so guys is like Adam was in the Nile River. Don't stay away from me. Like when that happened with Adam and Eve, Adam was in the Nile River for 40 days and 40 nights, refusing to talk to Eve or deal with Eve. The Most High had to tell him, hey man, forgive her because you're going to need her to populate the earth. He ain't want nothing to do with Eve. That's just like a lot of guys done gave up on dating. Because these women talk too much. They too slutty. They want you to treat them like they're a virgin and they sluts. Their body count's high. Many dudes done put it in. All different shapes and sizes. They mouth and everywhere else. But they want you to disregard all of that activity, right? Even though it's going to mess them up mentally. And they want you to give them the royal treatment of marriage. Paying bills, taking care of them, providing for them. But the fact of the matter is, even if you haven't been a thought, you created to help. And so I want all of y'all women to hear this here. If you're refusing to help a man, then you're doing the devil's work. And here's why I say that. Because, okay, are you a different species? Because when he created Eve, which y'all replicas of, he put her in the garden to be a companion and a helper for Adam. So I'm just saying, man, stop talking to like this stuff is easy and sweet. And y'all not doing it right either. But anyway, and y'all women, y'all need to embrace polygyny. You need to stop being selfish and jealous and controlling, where you just want to be the only sex he get. And join forces with another woman and both of y'all do y'all part. One reason people struggling is monogamy. We're going to talk about that too. But thanks for watching.